I know you're gonna dig this.
Well, for the second for one, and now they got the man trapped in third. It's hanging out. And 2nd and 2, handoff goes to McCaffrey up the middle, finds a little room, lot more room, and he's off to the races.
Welcome to the In the Zone Sports Talk Radio Network. You're listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show with your host, Kate Diggs from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with the large heart, and co-host Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida. Also co-hosting Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland. These are your hosts, bringing you the ultimate in sports news for the ultimate sports fan. Be sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Now sit back and prepare to get into another episode of the Just Us Sports Talk Show.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Good evening. Good evening. Good evening to everybody out there. This is Kate Dix. Online, we got my man Curry. Curry, what's going on with you, sir? How's everything?
Hey, everything good.
All
How
right.
you doing, sir?
All right. We got Mo live. Rich, we got you on, but we can't see you, Rich.
Yeah, I know I got my camera.
I guess you're trying to hide from us or something. Okay.
Oh, nah, I'm here.
I'm here.
Okay, cool. Cool. Hey, we want to welcome everybody. Hopefully, you guys, you enjoy your President's Day off, another weekend, another 4-day weekend. If you're not Mo, who just moved into a brand new crib, ladies and gentlemen,
he's trying to hide from ice.
He's trying to hide from ice.
Richie Rich, baby.
Richie Rich.
He rich is all the what? You gotta watch it, baby.
You gotta watch it, baby.
As I was saying, Mo moved into a brand new house over the weekend. He got his thing going on. So congratulations to Mo in his move. I want to send out a prayer shout out to Gerald Wernitzky. Just found out that his wife had passed away a year ago. So I just want to let him know that, we're keeping in his prayers and things of that nature. I mean, that's a tough pill to swallow when it's somebody that, when you're significant other and you lose them, it's a hard pill to swallow. So we just want to keep him in our prayers as well. So let me tell you guys about my yesterday. So I was down in DC area. I went to the Cat Williams concert. The traffic in DC is bananas. I wouldn't want to live there to save my soul. And if you ever been down the DC area, get to DC, it turns into 8 lanes, then it goes 2 lanes. And the 2 lanes go bumper to bumper, back and forth, stopping, starting, the whole 9 yards. But anyway, Cat Williams was
Take the metro.
Cat Williams was one funny dude, man. And let me tell you, so it's raining outside. We get to Capitol Stadium, wherever the Wizards play at, or whatever. Yeah, the Wizards. And they tell us we can't take our umbrellas in. My wife wasn't happy about that, right? She's like, I said, well, I'll buy you an umbrella. Do you know how much that umbrella cost me? I got the umbrella. I got a certain color for the umbrella. I'm like, I just thought it was an umbrella. I'm thinking it's just an umbrella, right? But it's not. The umbrella has sentimental value to my wife. So I was like, Lord.
Take it from a divorced man. Stop talking bad about your wife on the show where people can record it and show it.
But I'm like, babe, I said, I can get your number. Do you know how much money that umbrella cost me? I got the umbrella because of certain color, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. But unfortunately, you got some decent people in DC because one lady left her pocketbook out there. She took everything out of her pocketbook and left it out there in the rain. Well, it's underneath cover. And pretty much we got back there and the umbrella was there. You know what I'm saying? So there are some decent people in DC. But I tell you what really got me, man, is like Cat Williams was funny, right? But he could have been funnier. So he basically joked on himself. He said he went out and bought him a $30,000 toilet. He said, I love this toilet. He said, I love it. He said, I'm not giving it back. He said, I was gonna get it, then return it back. He said, I wouldn't have to see the guy. He said, but when I got it to my house, he said, and it did all these things. He said, you know, when I have a lady friend over, I go back to the toilet and the toilet says, she needs to drink more water. But my whole thing is right here is that we take life too serious these days, ladies and gentlemen. And when a comedian can't say what's on his mind anymore because he's afraid of the backlash, then comedy is not comedy anymore, man. Laughing is good for the soul. It's good for the heart, you know. And that goes to anything and everything that we're talking about. And the reason why I brought that up is because he basically clowned himself in a sense. You know what I'm saying? He talked about himself. He talked about, you know, the president. He talked about other people. He talked about this. He talked about that. But he couldn't really get down dirty like he really wanted to. But that leads me to this. That leads me to the situation that happened at Kansas State over the weekend. They lose a game, and the coach gets fired because of what he said to the players. He said, "You're not worthy of wearing this uniform." Curry, you're a little bit older than all of us. When you played in high school sports, if the coach said that to you, would you cry? Would you moan? Would you groan? Would you go back home and tell your mom and dad what the coach said?
No, I probably should take it with a grain of salt, man. Because back in those days, man, they could say some brutal stuff to you, and it wasn't that, it wasn't political, or it was just he was just being truthful, really. If that did ever happen, right, is what I'm trying to say. But no, it would be a big deal.
Exactly. You know, and the thing about it is this guy, and now they're saying that um they don't want to honor his contract. But if I'm not mistaken, I think he got coach of the year a couple years ago. Got Kansas State to like the Final Four or Elite Eight or whatever the case may be. But I'm just saying, man, have we gotten that soft that we cannot chastise our basketball players or athletes to the point where they're crying? And I'm not saying that there had to be a backlash to all of this because he got fired, you know. And I'm just going. It just says right here, why Kansas State fired basketball coach Jerome Tang for cause. Kansas State, and they saying because of cause, because of cause, that means they don't have to honor his contract, right? And he got like $18.1 million, I think, that they would have to pay him or something of that nature. I'm just trying to find it again real quick. Okay, so here, this is it. Tang's buyout is reportedly 18.675 million, because his buyout would have only dropped by about 3 million next season if it wouldn't have made much sense for Kansas State to hold off on the change. With that being said, Kansas State fired Tang, was cause means the school intends to get out of the paying him his entire payout. If the two sides don't agree to a settlement, Tang can certainly will fight to receive a full buyout. So check this out. 2024, 2025, 2000, no, I'm sorry. Let me go back. 2020, 2022, 23, 26 and 10, lost in the Elite Eight. 2023, 24, 19 and 50, missed the NCAA tournament. 2024, 25, 16, 17, missed the NCAA tournament. 2025, 2026, 10 and 15 to be determined because he's going right now, right? Total wins 71 to 57. Most coaches are going to take that and run with it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, has this country got to this point where we can't say what's on our mind no more? I mean, have we got that soft?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, man. These are I want to say they're grown men. Some of them got NIL deals, right? To play in sports. I'm not saying I don't know about the guys on Kansas State, but I'm pretty sure some of them got an NIL deal to get paid. So if you're getting paid to play, accept the responsibility and the positive or negative criticism that comes along with the game. Because I mean, come on now, I'm just trying to figure this thing out, and
Well,
it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't.
well, I can say this. Uh, Kansas, go ahead.
Go ahead, Curry.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Kansas State know that they're gonna have to pay the man, or they figure they're gonna have to pay him, but they have nothing to lose by going this route, saying, "Well, we fired him because now we don't want to pay him." They don't have anything to lose, even if they have to pay him. They're gonna pay him anyway. So if they do this, that just prolongs it, and they taking a chance that he might just walk away from it. But he's smart enough not to walk away from that, because there's no arbitration that's going to rule in the favor of the school just on that. You know, he didn't uh, uh, he didn't intimidate anybody, a person or players. He didn't sexual harass anybody or threaten anybody or whatever. So just what he said, like, you're not worthy to wear this uniform. If that's why you fired him, you should have to pay him double.
I'm just, it just bothers me, man. That this is where we're at as a country, and when it comes to playing sports, I mean, we're basically, you can't. Oh my goodness. Whew. You know, I'm gonna say this. I'm in a school system, and it's really hard to believe this or not. There is in the main school that I'm in right now. There's not a black male teacher that teaches one class. And we're talking about, let's see, 18, 32, I'm gonna say 40 classes. Now they're black role models. Like I'm in the school and a couple guys substitutes in there that does stuff, but there's no black teachers there, right? And the reason why there's no black teachers there is because for some fact that they don't have no incentive to keep blacks to have black males come in and teach, right?
Yeah.
And it's gonna get to the point where because you can't, you gotta keep it real with our people, right? And that's one of the things I do with some of the young students I talk to. I keep it real with them about a lot of stuff, right? Even if they're in the fourth or fifth grade, I try to keep it real with them about what life's going to be about if you don't know how to read, write, and do math, right? But you're making it harder on coaches or role models to be who they need to be, because you're saying anything I say, you're going to critique what I say. So now we live in a false world. And that, I think that's gonna hurt this country more so. It's gonna hurt this world more so than it's gonna help.
We have gotten false.
Because again, I'm pretty sure that this is all through the world, that we have a lot of young people, even in college, think they're entitled. They don't have to earn anything. And that's where we go wrong with it. That's where we go wrong. Any comments or concerns for this before we move on to the next topic, guys? Okay. Do everybody have a Black History moment?
I do.
Okay, go ahead, Lou. We'll let you shoot off first.
Okay, but actually, it's nothing to do with the athlete, but it is sports related.
Okay.
Because this I found very interesting. Okay, so I was going through the articles and I found something very interesting. It goes way back to 1929, before I was born, and it involves the first black sportscaster by the name of Sherman Maxwell, aka nicknamed Jocko.
Yep. No of them. Go
I'll
ahead.
explain.
Well, by his nickname Jocko, Maxwell is widely believed to be the first black sportscaster in history. He began at 22 years old at WNJR, New Jersey, my home state, and throughout the 30s interviewed many of the biggest stars in sports of that era. He also was a public address announcer for the Negro League's New York Eagles and would go on to become a prominent scholar of black baseball. Despite many of the accomplishments, though, there are many times when Maxwell was not paid for his work by white broadcast outlets, which I think is wrong. This guy was a pioneer, for sportscasters, black, white, or whatever. So, if you get blackball like that, he's definitely wrong. Nevertheless, he does share a place in history.
All right. Yeah, I remember reading about him before.
I think I did too, once.
Yeah, he was probably, I can't remember if how he started out doing broadcasting, but he's one of the first that ever stepped into the realm. Um, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the Stephen A. Smiths or the other guys we have that does sports analysts on TV or being heard. So we want to thank him for being the first of that. Who's up? Anybody up next? I have one. Mo has one. Rich, you have one?
Yeah, I got one.
Rich? Yeah, I got one. Okay, you want to go next?
You want me to go?
I can go next. You want me to? You want me to go next? I can go next. I go next.
Mine is real fast.
It ain't. Okay.
I'm not gonna get all in detail because I could go on for hours. But this day, on today, actually, I figured I'd do something that happened on February 16th in history.
Okay.
Frederick Douglass was elected the president of the Freedmen's Savings and Trust Company, which was created to help formerly enslaved people secure their economic future by allowing loans to the enslaved. There were grants. There were a bunch of different things that Frederick Douglass was involved in to help the enslaved acclimate to freedom. Black freedom for that time. That's
Okay.
it. Keep it simple.
Okay. So, if you know anything about Frederick Douglass, he was a jack of all trades, master of none. He dipped his hands in a lot of stuff as a abolitionist, civil rights movement. He also was involved in having the first Massachusetts regiment in the Civil War. He had something to do with that. He had his hands in a lot of pots, man. The gentleman was really educated about his life and pursuit of happiness for all people, including blacks. Mo, you got something?
I was just going to say that he was one of the two inspirational people wow, that Carter G. Woodson created Black History, well, Negro History Week because of him and also Abraham Lincoln's birthdays.
Okay. All right. Kara, you got anything for us?
Yeah, come back to me.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I'm gonna go next. So my Black history person is Edwin Bangkok Henderson from 1883 to 1977. This dude lived a long life. Sports historian, educator, administrator, coach, athlete, civil rights activist, Dr. Edward Bancroft Henderson was a pioneer promoter of African-American involvement in sports and physical education. Edwin, the son of William Lewis Henderson, was born on November 23rd, 24th, 1883. His father was a day laborer. His mother was a homemaker, taught him to read at a young age. Henderson did some of the reading at the nearby Library of Congress. An honor roll student at M Street High School, Washington, D.C. I went past that street, M Street. I went past that. I didn't know that. Ain't that something? Henderson was also a member of the school's baseball team, football, and track and field. He was a three-letter guy. He earned a BA degree at Howard University, an MA degree at Columbia University, and a PhD in athletic training from Central Chiropractic College in Kansas, Missouri. Let's see where we go. In 1904, Henderson began a long and distinguished teaching career in a black public school of Washington, D.C. He will also continue to study his physical education, attending the Harvard Summer School of Physical Education at Harvard. Henderson was introduced to the new discipline of physical education and the sports of basketball. In turn, Henderson brought the game of basketball to the African American community of Washington, D.C., New York, and other East Coast cities. For 25 years, Henderson served as director of the Department of Physical Education for the director of Columbia segregated black schools. Among the many students the Henderson coach taught and mentored was people like Charles R. Drew. You know who that guy is? Drew is Montego Cobb and Duke Ellington. He could play some sports. He could also get that. He also was a jazz guy too. Henderson was also the first academic researcher of African Americans in sports. His article appeared in a number of black periodicals, including Crisis, The Message, and the Negro History Bulletin. Between 1910 and 1913, he co-edited a Spalding Sports Equipment Company, officially handbook of the East Coast. In 1939, Henderson published the Negro Sports under Carter G. Woodson, associate publisher, the publishing arms of Associated Study of African American Life and History, ASALH. The Negro Sports was the first major study of black athletes and athletics. Prompted by historian Charles H. Wesley Woodson, successor of the ASALH, Henderson published the Black Athlete Mercy and Rival in 1968. In 1976, Henderson wrote the Black American in Sports, Mabel M. Smith, the Black American Reference Books. This article was last publication before his death in 1977. Henderson established the branch of National Association for Advancement of Colored People. He started the NAACP. Falls in Church, Virginia, a Washington, D.C. suburb, and led the fight to end the segregation of seating policies of Uline Arena, the Washington, D.C. sporting facility that housed the basketball games of the Washington Capitals of the Basketball Association of America. When the Capitals joined the newly reformed National NBA Association in 1949, they drafted Harold Hunter and Earl Lloyd, who became two of the NBA first African-American players. Within the challenge of their Uline Arena segregation, Henderson helped open the doors into what is now a professional league where blacks are dominant. Edwin Bangkok Henderson died on February 3rd, 1977. He was 93 years old. Among Henderson's many accolades was 1974 induction as a founding member of the Basketball Athletic Hall of Fame in New York City, in which a group includes Jackie Robinson, Jesse Owens, Bill Russell, Athena Gibson. He was also a member of the class of 2013 into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, Springfield, Massachusetts. Given Henderson's legacy as a basketball innovator, he has been apparently abruptly hailed as the father of black basketball. And that, young ladies and gentlemen, that is Edwin Bangkok Henderson, 1883 to 1977. I didn't know that they had a Black History Hall of Fame in New York. I got to put that on my bucket list. All right. Curry, you good to go? Or you want more?
Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. Tom Joyner used to have a show, have a radio show, and he had a segment on his show called "A Little Known Black History Facts" that he would do a lot. And I heard a little bit about this, what I'm fixing to tell you about on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. That's where I first heard it. But there was two players that was the first two black players to ever play in the National Football League. There was Fritz Pollard and Bobby Marshall. They were the first two black players in the National Football League, debuted in the league's inaugural season in 1920. Pollard, who played for the Akron Pros, was a running back. He also became the NFL's first black head coach. Didn't even know that. Fritz Pollard's standout at Brown University. He led Akron Pros to the 1920 championship, and he is also credited as the first black quarterback in 1923. Bobby Marshall, a former standout at the University of Minnesota, he played for the Rock Island Independence in 1920. Before the NFL founded in 1920, Charles Foley is recognized as the first black professional football player playing for the Ohio-based Shelby Blues from 1902 to 1906. And after a small number of black players participated in the early 1920s, the NFL unofficially banned black players from playing from 1934 to 1945. And they got reintegrated in 1946 by 4 players: Kenny Washington, Woody Strode, who played for the Rams, and Marion Motley, and Bill Willis of the Cleveland Browns. So that's 2 players for you there, Kevin. One from the Rams and one for the Browns. So
See, I keep trying to tell y'all, it goes deep, man. It goes deep for me. It goes deep. It goes deep.
That's my little. It's short, but that's my little known Black history fact that I stole that saying from Tom Jones. It's a little known Black history fact.
Thank you very much, man. I keep trying to tell y'all, it goes deep, Mo. It goes deeper than just wins or losses, baby. I'm telling you, it goes deep, man. It goes deep for me. Go ahead, Mo.
We thought.
Go ahead, Mo.
All right, so I'm gonna play mine like a game. First of all, I go back. I'm going back to last year. So I always did people who were born on the day that we have the show. So this guy was born February 16th, 1957, making him 69 years old. That's a great year. Or great number, whatever you want to call it. But we'll keep it PG today. Okay, so some things about this guy. Let's see if you can guess. He's one of the most famous black people that was born in Germany in the U.S.
I need a bigger hit.
Okay. How about he was on a show that started off with I can't remember how I started off now. I'll just say this, the one word that everybody would know. Engage. Space.
Flip Wilson.
Space. The Final Frontier. These
Star Trek.
These are the journeys of. So he was on Star Trek.
I'm not a Trekkie, so I don't know.
How about this?
Ben Vereen?
Nope. How about this? Butterflies in the sky.
Oh, I know who it is now. I know who it is.
Come on, guys. Y'all don't know the next lyric? Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high.
Give him another hint.
Take a look. It's in a book.
LeVar Burton.
A reading rainbow.
Okay.
Yes. I was gonna go to my next clue that I know you would get it. Kunta Kinte. Yes, we talking about LeVar Burton. I know it threw you off because I didn't even know he was born in Germany.
He was born in Germany?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was born in West Germany. So, LeVar Burton, born February 16, 1957, is an American actor best known for his long tenure hosting the popular educational TV show Reading Rainbow from 1983 to 2006, and for playing Kunta Kinte in the TV miniseries Roots, and playing Lieutenant Commander Geordi LaForge in Star Trek: The Next Generation, and several Star Trek films. One thing that Cat would love about him is he was stationed as a photographer with the U.S. Army Signal Corps. His mother, Irma Jean Christian, was a high school English teacher, later a social worker. His family returned to the United States when LeVar was about 2 years old, and he grew up mostly in Sacramento. His mother made reading a priority for him and his two sisters. As he told Esquire in 2017, it was expected and insisted upon that you spoke the King's English and you read. He was a sophomore in the drama program at the University of Southern California when he auditioned for and won his breakout role of Kunta Kinte.
Toby.
No, Kunta Kinte. I love the Dave Chappelle remix of that too. The most important thing I want you guys to take from this is this man made a career out of 3 different characters. And we all remember each one. Well, maybe y'all don't, because y'all didn't remember reading Rainbow. Y'all don't read, man. You know what they say about black people. You want to hide it from them? Put it in a book.
Hey,
so read. Get you reading up.
Before you go on, Marine Seek Crayon had the answer for LeVar Burton. So whoever you are, if you can inbox me your address, I will send you a In the Zone Sports T-shirt, because you got that answer right before anybody else did. And the funny thing about it is, he told me before the show went on that that's what it was, and I'm like, okay, who he's talking about?
That's why I did Black German, because I knew you'd be like,
I totally forgot. But hey guys, thank y'all for all y'all Black History moments. And the thing about it is, like I tell people, I tell people all the time, these are some of the reasons why I love the Browns and I love the Rams. And a lot of people don't realize this, but the Rams started in Cleveland, right? And they're the only team. They're the only team that has won a championship in 3 different states. So they won one in Ohio, Los Angeles, and St. Louis. But that's other trivia. But Kenny Washington, Fritz Prowler, those guys,
the cities couldn't keep a team.
I don't care about that.
St. Louis could never keep a team.
But the thing about it is that the Black History part of it would drew me into liking that right there. So Curry, you was on point with that thing. I love that. Anybody else got anything else before we move on? Let's move on. So let's talk a little baseball real quick before we move into the good stuff. So I just read an article that Manny Macho, what's his name? What's the name? Played for
Manny
Machado, yeah. Manny Machado, and what's the other guy that played for the Phillies? Bryce Harper. They said I wish the Padres and the Phillies would do what the Dodgers doing, giving up that money. Do something about it. And I'm kind of shocked to read the article. Manny just said, "I effing love it." That's what he basically said. Bryce Harper's like, "Yo, why is not other teams doing it?" So you basically have 3 teams maybe that's doing it right now, which is Toronto Blue Jays, the Dodgers, and the Mets. And those 3 teams I just mentioned are the top payroll is out of those 3. But you got the Yankees in there, you got the Mets, you got the Phillies in there, you got a bunch of teams in there that's top 10 that's spending a lot of money on their teams, but they're not doing what the Dodgers are doing. And I think Toronto's starting to defer some money as well. So I don't know, man. It's the contract is up after this year, this season coming up. Is there a possibility it could be a strike? It might be a strike, but I don't think it's going to be a strike because of the payroll. I think it's going to be a strike of the owners not wanting to share this money they're getting ready to get, because they're getting ready to get like between 12 and 16 billion dollars, I think, for TV rights. And so the players like, yo, share the money, man. Share the money. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, you gotta think about this. I don't know nobody. I don't know any baseball players that probably are broke. Do you know any baseball players broke? I don't know none.
Yeah.
I know plenty of football players are broke. I know plenty of basketball players are broke, but not baseball players. You don't ever hear of them being broke. You know what I'm saying? Like they make bad
Yeah.
investments or whatever the case may be. I don't know what it is, but maybe the NFL and NBA need to talk to whoever's in the MLB and say to them, "Yo, what are you
Yeah.
doing to help these players keep their money?" You know what I'm saying? Because it's if you really think about it in the NFL, like I think you need 6 years to vest NFL, and you get a check after that, right? And basketball, I don't know how long it is. I don't know how long it is in basketball, but the insurance that you have to pay for the NFL is like skyrocketed. It's like I think it's through Cobra, which is the highest insurance out there, right? They don't insure. They don't pay for your medicines, your pills. They don't pay for none of that. So that's something that come bargaining time, they need to put that on the table for the older guys, because at the end of the day, guys are playing football right now are gonna be in the same situation. They're gonna be might be in the same situation that the older guys are right now, and that's something they need to talk about. Is like if I gotta take pills.
For those older guys, they get a decent pension.
Well, let me say this. Jackie Slater said that his pension now is what he say he gets. I think he said he gets like $2,000. I think a month with because of his pension. So, but the thing about it is that their insurance is really high. And again, I think if you play for the NFL, the least they can do is pay for your doctor's bills and your medicine. They making enough money, they can do that for those guys. Them guys sacrificing their body out there in that football field, and so the owners need to make a sacrifice and help them guys live a better life after football than they do while they're playing football. You know, so that to me that's just something that needs to be brought up. But again, we're just talking about baseball, so I just want to bring it up. And spring training's coming ahead right here. Also in baseball, they're predicting that no team will win 100 games again this year. How close was we to that last year? Did Milwaukee win 100 games, guys? They got to 99, right? Or something. Or did they?
I know Toronto won.
I know
Toronto won. I think 98 was the most.
I think 98 was the most. I thought Milwaukee had
Yeah, 98. I think you're right. 98.
Yeah, because remember we were talking about if they could do
Toronto
this,
and
if
the
they could
Yankees
do
won
Toronto
98.
and the Yankees won 98. Okay, yeah. So again, they're saying right now that nobody will win 100 games this year.
Actually, 94.
Actually, 94.
Okay.
Milwaukee won 97.
Milwaukee
Philly
won
won
97.
96.
Philly won 96.
Okay. So they're saying that the competition, they're saying the competition is getting better within the league. And if you think about what Toronto, what the Dodgers and what the Mets are doing, as they're hyping up their lineup, they're still saying that these teams have a better chance of going to the World Series, but it's going to be a more competitive season than it was last year. And we know last year it went down to the wire. It went down to the last game of the season, and that which made Major League Baseball even better. And remember, guys, they're going to have the robot for the strike zone this year. So we want to really pay attention to that right there. That's going to be something different in this year to come. So you guys got anything else for baseball for me?
Angel Hernandez must
be retiring.
Mister, I got the biggest strike zone ever.
I got the biggest strike zone ever.
Vegas has the Dodgers, Yankees going to the World Series. After that, they have Toronto, and another American League team, and then after that, they got the Phillies, I think, and then the Astros. Then they got the Braves. So the Braves look like they might be doing some good this year. Curry.
Well, everything was better this evening than they had last year.
Okay, so let's get into some football right now. Hot off the press right now. is that the Miami Dolphins is releasing half the football team. I'm just saying half the football team. They 3 players they released, and that's gonna save them a nice little bit of change, right? The only issue right now is that they don't know. They're still they're still trying to figure out this thing with Tua. And if I had to bet Rich's paycheck on it, I would say that Tua's probably out of there. I would say that. I would definitely say that. Since we're talking about the Miami Dolphins and that's Curry's team and Dana's team, Curry, what's your thoughts on this move right here, releasing Chubb, and Cheetah, and it was somebody else they released. It was 3 players, right? I don't know who the third person was.
Yeah, it's 5 total, but my thoughts on them released. I'm not shocked that they released Tyreek Hill. I mean, that was a given. His contract, they were not going to pay him that money that they would do him this year, and he didn't have any guaranteed money left. Chubb didn't have any guaranteed money left, but Witherspoon or whatever his name is, that guy, and then the guy that they got from somewhere, he gained something. He played 3 snaps in the first game and went out, and he didn't see no more of him. So that they voided that contract. So that you're right. It's gonna save them some money, and it's gonna be some tough games to watch this year. But I like what they're doing, and hopefully they get this draft right, and I think they'll be okay.
So let me.
As far as Tua, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Because I have a question for you after that. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as far as Tua, it's not that they're still trying to figure out what they're gonna do with Tua. They already know what they're gonna do with Tua. They just trying to wait. They don't want to cut him outright. If somebody calls up and say, "Hey," they know they're gonna have to pay him a bunch of money. If they trade him, they still gonna have to eat a bunch of that contract.
Yes.
So
like 20, I think like
and
23.
I keep saying him going to the Rams because that's where I got a feeling that he might end up. But if he goes there, you could get a 4th round pick for him or whatever. You take it.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question though. Why? I'm gonna say this: if you talking about Tua, right? Going to the Rams, or you talking about Cheetah? Tua going to the Rams. Okay. If I'm the Rams,
honestly, I would not be surprised if Tyreek didn't play another game. But I mean, not that I saw it. I saw it up close, but I didn't see it up close because I was at the game that Tyreek got hurt at that Monday night. And when he went off the field, just something about, I just thought, man, that guy, he could be done. And I still think, I don't think he'll be ready for the 2026 season. If he plays, even if he plays in 2027, I'm still gonna be surprised.
Okay. The Tua thing. If Garoppolo end up signing with somebody else, I could probably see maybe Tua coming there. For some reason, that McVay gets quarterbacks there, and they touch that blue and yellow or that blue and gold, and they go somewhere else in the shine. Look at Baker Mayfield. Just saying. But I know they do need a quarterback going forward. We know that he's coming back next year. I did see some throws this year that didn't look normal to him, and I don't know if that was because the preseason didn't play a preseason, but later on down the line there were some throws that he could have made, big throws he could have made, in games where we should have won, and he didn't make those throws. So I don't know if his arms that weak, or maybe they ran the wrong pattern. I don't know, but I saw a little decline in him, even though he won the MVP, and I'm glad he got the MVP, because if Drake May would have got the MVP, he would get roasted right now after the performance against Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
He would have got roasted.
Yeah, but it didn't count. That playoffs didn't count.
No.
So you couldn't hold that playoffs against him. But I think they gave it to if Jada gave it to Drake May, I think he would have deserved it just as much as Stafford did. Yeah, I think if I'm a writer and I had a vote in it, I would have probably given it to Matt Stafford too, because he never had one, and I said, well, Drake May got other chances to get one. Let me go ahead and give this to Matt Stafford since it's this close. You know what I mean?
And I think that had a lot to do with it too, but I think also scheduling wise had a lot to do with why Matt Stafford got over Drake May, because Drake May, they didn't have that. They had one of these schedules, and if you look at the schedule that the Rams played, they played Philly, they played Detroit. They played San Francisco twice, and they got to play Seattle twice. So their schedule was extremely harder than what the Patriots schedule is. Now we're gonna see this year coming up what the Patriots are gonna look like, because the schedule is definitely gonna be a lot deeper, a lot harder than what it was last year. So we'll see. Rich, 49ers, man. 49. I just pulled up an article, and I just want to get your thoughts on this. 49ers must avoid signing the newly released Pro Bowl pass rusher. Where they're talking about they're talking about Bradley Chubbs. Why do you think they're saying that you should not go after Bradley Chubbs?
That doesn't make any sense.
I'll answer that for you, Rich.
Okay.
Age.
Bradley Chubb is a formidable opponent. So I will want a guy like him on my side. But I understand that they are trying to make a big move for dude from Max Crosby.
Yeah, I think Max Crosby's on a couple teams target sheet. And so this is what they're saying right here. 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers were a joke with rushing and passing pass rusher this past season. They were dead last in sacks with 20. 20 is a lot of sacks with 18 games. I'm just saying that's second half game maybe. So, being without Nick Bosa will do that. Not only does losing the product hurt, but he is an impactful player who opens up for everyone. However, that just shows the 49ers that they need an adequate option of Bosa. They haven't had that since D Ford. Their offseason, they need to try to address that. It just so happens that a former Pro Bowl passer became a free agent, Bradley Chubb. The Miami Dolphins released Chubb in a salary cap clearing move. Chubb tallied 8.5 sacks last season, along with 54 pressures. Both stats would have made him the lead pass rusher on the 49ers. However, a player that should avoid signing. So Fred Warner be back next year, right?
Yeah, he'll be back.
He'll be back. So I'm saying, so you get Fred Warner there and you have him there. I think that make life a little bit easier on Chubb if he were to go to the 49ers. I'm just saying, I think that would be a good fit.
Well,
but go ahead.
Well, Fred Warner's not a pass
rusher.
We would need Nick Bosa to come back in some decent shape. To be that other guy. And we still have T.R. White. He got shot in his foot. But he'll be all right. And we have we got a couple of young guys. We need a lot. Like our defense is in rebuild mode. And especially with this defensive coordinator we have who is at the bottom as far as secondary coverage. it's going to be frustrating this year
frustrating this year
for 49ers
for
fans.
49ers fans.
So who's gonna be your defensive coordinator now?
Raheem Moore. Is it
Raheem
Raheem
Moore? Is
Morris?
it Raheem Morris?
From Raheem Morris from Atlanta. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that was a good pickup for the 49ers for some of the fact that he was in that division with Sean McVay over in the Rams. So he probably can add something to the flavor.
Like what?
Like what?
Unless McVay has changed his playbook completely. Raheem Morris don't, because he knows the plays, but if they change it up completely, then that's a whole different story. But Raheem Morris is a coach that shouldn't have been fired, in my personal opinion. We know what that was all about. But again, that's a different story for a different day.
Well,
all right.
Before we move on,
go ahead.
I just remember when Raheem Morris was there, he took the number one defense from number one to like number 19. Like his secondary
in Atlanta
when he was with the Rams. Like he had Aaron Donald, he had Jalen Ramsey. They were loaded, and they couldn't. The secondary was trash. We don't need that.
Well, but if you think about it, if you lose Aaron Donald, right, and you don't replace him, that's a big chunk of defense right there that you got to replace. So
yeah, but he had Aaron Donald.
But I'm saying when he did have Aaron Donald there, they were good. The defense was good. When they had Jalen Ramsey, the defense was good. Now,
not with Raheem Morris.
But the problem that happened with the Rams at that point in time is they didn't have linebackers, right? They didn't have no linebackers, and their defensive backs were all beat up. So again, that's where you go with your 53-man roster. How good is your 53-man roster when you need to replace a starter with a guy off the bench? So, but I like him. Again, I felt like him winning 4 games at the end of the season, stopping the Rams from being the number 1 seed, to me, earns you the right to stay there in Atlanta, right? You lose your starting quarterback. You bring Kirk Cousins in, who don't want to be there anymore, and he still plays at a high enough level now that he's could be one of the top 2 free agents quarterbacks that drawing a lot of interest from a lot of teams. Him and Malik Willis are the 2 quarterbacks that everybody's looking at moving on to a different team. So again, I think what he did with that team in Atlanta, and I would say this: I would have left him there, right, and drafted what I needed to draft, bringing who I needed to bring in, and give him another opportunity, because they were right there to make the playoffs. I mean, if you go look at the odds favorite for that division, it's probably a tie between all 3 of them: Tampa, the Falcons, and the Panthers. It could be a 3-way tie who wins that division next year. If you look at the 2026 predictions,
it was a 3-way tie this year.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I just don't. I think that what Atlanta did, what the Atlanta Falcons did, the organization did, was wrong. But again, I think Raheem Morris will be a good fit. He may not be a Robert Salas. You know what I'm saying? I love Robert Salas. But again, it's all about who can stay healthy, who can't, and if they can't stay healthy, who you gonna grab to put them in that position to be able to win football games. So that's just my thoughts right there. Moving on.
Can I say something about Brandon Chubb?
Go ahead.
I think Brandon Chubb is a fantastic player. He's a great locker room guy. But if I had to guess where he would end up, my guess would be Philadelphia. And the reason I say that is because Vic Fangio, who is the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, was the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, and he had Bradley Chubb. Fangio also was the head coach of the Denver Broncos, and he drafted Chubb. So that makes sense for him to go where he knows the defense, so he fit right on in. But that's no guarantee he'll end up there. But that should be my guess.
Okay. We got a guess out here. Next up, we got the Dallas Cowboys. Lose team.
Oh, yeah.
Cowboys predict to land explosive offensive player in free agency. Travis, how you pronounce his name? Eaton from Jacksonville.
Mike Evans.
Mo, why you shaking your head? No.
No, Javonte Williams had a great year, man.
Williams had a great year, man.
Huh?
Javonte Williams had a great year.
Javonte Williams had a great year.
But he's a free agent. So, but the thing about it is Dallas got to make a splash this year, man. They have to make a splash. We know that George Pickens probably going to be franchised, right? So he's going to get the money that he's going to get the money he wants for the first year. They're going to say, prove yourself, and then we're going to pay you. Jerry Jones liked to pay wide receivers big time. He loved to pay them guys. But Eaton, is that how you pronounce the last name?
ETN.
From
ETN.
ETN, yes, ETN. But I think that he's going to probably get franchised as well.
No.
But
they drafted Tua.
Huh?
They drafted Braden Tua in Jacksonville to be his successor.
Yeah, But I'm saying he hasn't played that bad.
He had a great year, but a couple of last years before that, he was
that's where they drafted. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's where they drafted to. But that's what I'm saying. I think that he's a possibility for a team to be maybe franchised. And my question to Lou is
only Jacksonville can franchise.
That's what I'm saying. But would Dallas be willing to give up a draft choice for him to come to Dallas? Probably not.
Williams played better.
No, I don't think so either.
But the thing about it is, who's the other running back they got?
They drafted the young kid.
Yeah,
they got the 5-3. I'm sorry. Let me let Luke talk about his team. I hate the Cowboys, but I know him so well.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Pickens is going to be a player. They don't really have a lot of running backs, so they're gonna have the somebody to fill in because they are short running backs. That's what they were lacking in the past season. They need to get a solid good running back. You need to draft somebody out in April and hopefully make a good run at it because they lack in that department.
Okay, Marines at Crayon says I'd rather have Williams and bring back Dow as a second option. Dow, so I think Dow's a free agent. So if he wants to be the primary running back, he's not going to have it in Dallas. So he might be looking to go somewhere else. But this is what it said about the Dallas Cowboys. Despite missing the playoffs in 2025, Dallas Cowboys had one of the most productive one of the most productive offenses in the NFL, led by Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. Their aerial attack was incredible dangerous. On the ground, running back Javonte Williams led the way with career. Williams is now a free agent, and while the Cowboys will keep him, he might have to earn a larger contract that he's willing to pay if he does in fact leave. There were options for Dallas in free agency. One option is Etienne, who topped 1,000 yards rushing 3 times for Jacksonville Jaguars. Etienne might not be as much of a bulldozer as Williams, but he's far more explosive. That's why fanside Jake Beckham predicted. But last season, they turned Devontae Williams from one of those undesirables into one of the better running backs in the league. There's a chance they try to capitalize on success and actually go after one of the better running backs available. This guy could be Travis Etienne. Etienne would bring a new dynamic to the Cowboys offense. I would hate to see him in that silver and blue, to be honest with you. In all, he had 1,399 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns. His speed is something the Dallas rushing attack lacked in 2025, especially with Jaden Blue failed to make an impact, which gave the Dallas offense a missing dynamic. Blue was the rookie we were talking about, right, Mo?
He's the dude.
The question would come down to price. However, if the Dallas isn't willing to pay the pay to keep Williams, it's hard to envision them going after Etienne. He could demand more in the free agency. This said the versatility could truly be the missing ingredients to the offense. So we know Dallas got some caps issues right going on, but they're going to franchise. We know that they're probably going to franchise George Pickens. Do anybody believe that the Dallas Cowboys, with the offense they have right now, if they fix the defense, that they could probably win the division next year? Anybody trust and believe in the new coach they have?
Not next year, but maybe about 2 or 3 years.
Okay. All right, we're gonna get to the Jets next. The buzz in the Big Apple is Kirk Cousins going to the Jets.
Yeah.
Lou, what's your thoughts on that? Kirk Cousins going to the Jets.
I hope so. I mean, he's had better enough. I don't think he's going to help the Jets whatsoever. I mean, Cousins is past his prime anyway. What does he even come here for? Making it worse for us. Cousins past his prime.
So let me ask you guys a question.
I disagree with that whole thing.
You disagree with what?
With what he just said. What Lou just said.
So you think that's a good spot for Kirk Cousins?
I think it's a great spot for Kirk Cousins. He like when he came in with the team last year with Atlanta, he lit a fire under them and almost had a playoff run. Thank you.
Okay.
And so I think with the young players that he has with him, I think he can give them a little bit of a jolt. And they draft a quarterback this year. Like it gives that quarterback a chance to sit and just watch.
I
think Kirk Cousins is. I mean, he's not going to lead them to the playoffs because it takes a defense too. But I think that they're going to be better than they were this year.
Okay, so I agree with Rich in a sense with Kirk Cousins maybe going to the Jets. He's the coldest he ever played was in Washington, you know what I'm saying, and he got them to the playoffs and kind of didn't get them through the playoff win. Then he went to Minnesota, did well in Minnesota, left Minnesota and went to Atlanta and became the backup and did well in Atlanta. Basically did backup last year. They almost got him in the playoffs. But I think the bigger issue with the Jets is why you fire everybody on your defensive side of the football 3 weeks after the season's over with, when all the coordinators are being selected now. Now, who do you bring in? So this is where I say, I think if the coach had anything to do with this, which I'm hoping he doesn't, he should be on the hot seat right now. Because why do you make a decision of getting rid of everybody on defense 3 weeks after the season's over with, when you had teams that fired the coaches and they're interviewing this person, that person, this person, that person to fill those slots, and now you're gonna get the slim pickings.
It ain't slim pickings out there. Jim Schwartz is out there.
I'm not saying they're not, but this is my thing is, if I would if I'm a defensive coordinator and I know that if I'm a defensive coach and I know you fired your coach, you fired your coaches at the end of the season, I'm going to go to you because you're already a head coach there. You've been there a year. And I think you would have a better understanding of what you need there than a team that fires their coach. Now they're bringing in a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator, and you got to get new coaches then, right? Because I don't want to think that Aaron Glenn's going to get fired next year. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to think that any of the coaches that got hired this year are going to get fired this year coming up. But Aaron Glenn been there for a year, so he's already established. He's already trying to get established what he wants. So I'm gonna have a little more insurance with him than I would somebody else. Now he still got to go out there and get. He got to get a defensive coordinator, defensive back, linebacker. He got to get all that. And my thing is, how do you just fire everybody 3 weeks after the season's over? That makes no sense to me. And I don't know, and they never said if, and this is where Curry, where I'm thinking to myself is, again, I say this on the show, how much pull do the head coach really have in selecting the players, the coaches, the assistant coaches? How much pull do they really have? Because again, you ain't gotta like the person, you just gotta work with them. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said you gotta go out and be drinking buddies, but you gotta be able to be on common ground come Sunday, Monday, Thursdays to win football games. You know what I'm saying? But you would want them to get along because it makes it better for the team itself. But I'm just saying, if I'm the Jets organization, they're a hot mess. It's two teams right now in NFL that are hot messes. There's two teams.
Who's the other team?
And the Jets is the Cleveland Browns. They're the other hot mess.
Oh yeah, hot mess.
They are
the Raiders, but okay.
They are the next hot mess. We got someone on. Is that Clay Rowland we got on the line with us today from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania?
Yes, sir.
Oh, what's going on, Clay? Clay's an Eagle fan.
Nah.
You want to chime in on something, Clay? Before we move on?
Nah, I mean, I heard you say about, the head coach. He don't have too much to say, especially a young head coach who really bring in. It's really about the GM.
Okay.
You gotta have a strong GM. If you don't have a strong GM, it's hard to build a team.
Okay. And I think some of us agree, some of us don't agree. But my thing is like, there's maybe a handful of coaches I heard that have a say-so in everything that goes on in the organization.
Right.
And you have some coaches you don't have, and then you got some coaches don't get a say-so. They don't even get a chance to draft the players. They're like Bill Parr says, you gonna buy the groceries, but you want me to cook them up? And I'm telling you, this cabbage don't agree with me, but you gonna buy it anyway? I don't know about that thing. But the other hot mess we got is the Cleveland Browns. So they finally got them a defensive coordinator. I have no Mike Rutenberger. Never heard of him before. He was with Jacksonville. I'm saying to myself, I don't know.
Atlanta.
No, they said Jacksonville.
Atlanta pass
game.
Was he
pass game coordinator, defensive
coordinator.
That's where he
was. It says Ruber, it says he worked for Tennessee Titans. Head coach Robert Saleh during his time in New York Jets, Jacksonville. Saleh deployed Schwartz wide 9 defensive scheme, which let players get after quarterback. He was replaced on Monday. Schwartz. Okay, it says Atlanta Falcons defensive passing game coordinator Mike Rutenberger. So now he's a defensive passing game coordinator. What? How many titles do they get? How many titles do you get? Hot mess. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna say this.
The passing game coordinator for the defensive line and the linebackers and the cornerbacks. So it's really just like a defensive coordinator. It's a second in charge.
So when he messes up, the defensive coordinator gets fired, right?
Yeah, he's second. He ain't first.
Yeah, he's second. He ain't first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's what I'm saying. So I'm telling you right now, if I'm Myles Garrett, I'm like, yo, get me out of here. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Why did he make Jim Schwartz the head coach? I have no idea whatsoever. Hot mess. They were a hot mess, man.
Schwartz done in the NFL.
Schwartz done in the NFL.
They're hot mess. But he had the number one defense this year, and I think when he was there
as a
last year,
defensive coordinator.
As a defensive coordinator.
Not as a head coach.
Not as a head coach.
I'm just saying. Well, you know what? Everybody's been a retread. You know what I'm saying? The only person that I can think has been a retread that has not made any dough is an offense coordinator for the New England Patriots. Everywhere he goes, he's terrible, right?
McDaniels.
He's terrible. Yeah, he's terrible. Yeah. So I'm thinking if you get out.
But hey, Kev.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Real quick, but if they didn't hire Jim Schwartz as a head coach, that means that they're going for an offensive head coach. You know, because Jim has experience. Usually a Band-Aid for right now, so Jim would have been perfect. But it was offense. Everybody looking for the next Sean McVay.
Todd Monken ain't the Sean McVay. He is not that dude.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I said everybody's looking for it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And no one knew Sean McVay until he became Sean McVay. Like no one knew Michael Jordan was until he became Michael Jordan.
Right. I agree. I totally agree with you on that because
we knew Michael Jordan at UNC.
Well, yeah,
we did.
We did.
But we knew who Len Bias was when Michael Jordan was there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And he was better.
Yeah.
He was better.
But you know what we know now?
MJ.
Len Bias was a cokehead.
He was not a cokehead. It was the first time he did it.
Prove it.
I know the guy who was I know the guy who was actually there at from the Maryland Police Lab, who was actually there on site when it actually happened.
When he actually snorted the coke and died because he was getting high with it.
Yes, and it was his first time.
He knew the guy
that was pure cocaine.
He knew the guy that was smoking it that sold it to him.
Right.
No, he was the one that tested it and said it was pure. Anybody would have died from it.
Anybody would have died from it.
Rest in peace, Len Bias.
Absolutely.
But I know one thing: if Celtics would have, if he played for the Celtics, it'd have been unfair.
Oh yes,
Michael Jordan may never want to ring.
Exactly.
Guess what?
And then you add Len Bias. Lord,
we don't see. This is the
Lewis
thing.
and Len Bias would have stopped.
This is the thing.
Go ahead, Bulls fan. Go ahead, tell us.
We don't know. We don't know what Len Bias would have been because he
What did Horace Grant say about Len Bias?
Second.
What did Horace Grant say about Len
Bias? In the NBA.
What did Horace Grant say about Len Bias?
Who cares what Horace Grant said?
He was a bull that played with Michael Jordan. They said Len Bias is the baddest man he ever seen on the court.
And you know what? That's
and he
great.
played with Jordan.
That's great. This is all sounds good.
That's Horace Grant.
We are going on.
John Sally tells that story. Horace Grant said, "Yeah, I said it."
Horace Grant. Michael Jordan could come out and say, if Len Bias would have played, I would say the same thing to Michael Jordan. All these ifs. What happened was Jordan got 6 of them things in 8 years. We can't talk about what Len Bias could have been.
If Jordan would have been gambling, he probably would have got 8.
Yeah. Now I'm not even believing none of that.
Yeah, you can't take that if. You can't say those ifs if you talk about the ifs and bias.
Yeah, you know, we don't know.
We don't know. To say what Len could have been.
I'm just saying.
That's all we can say.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
What it could have been.
What it could have been.
I'm saying what he was in college.
The baddest man in college basketball.
Yes, he was.
When he got drafted.
Yes, he was.
He was LeBron. He was LeBron with a jump shot.
Oh, plus the Cardinals are a hot mess too.
All right, back to
you know something. I don't know how you can say that Len Bias would have been this or been that. There's no way to tell what he would have been.
Nope.
Based on what he played. Everybody thought Sam Bowie was going to be good.
I didn't.
What happened there?
I didn't think that was. I'm gonna tell you. I watched Sam Bowie play in high school, and he had bad feet then, right?
Can I explain something too?
He was the biggest name coming out of college when he came out. Yeah, I don't know what he did in high school, but I'm saying when he came out of college, he was drafted ahead of Michael Jordan.
He had bad feet then too.
Can I explain why I say Len Bias was the baddest man up?
You got this. You got the stage.
First of all, he dominated Jordan in college. When they played, everybody said Len Bias was the best player on the court. Len Bias would have been drafted by the 1986 Celtics, one of the best teams ever. So he would have been playing behind Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, and even at that time period was a man that actually had really good feet at that time period for 1 year. What was his name?
Bill Walton.
Yes, Bill Walton. Yes, so you put all those guys around him. A guy that loves the game by playing with the Celtics. And you saying that dude wouldn't have excelled? You don't think that Bird would have played longer? McHale would have got his foot he would have got surgery on his foot, and he would have been playing for those 3 years with a bad foot. What made him retire early? Bird's back injuries because he had to carry the team because McHale was hurt, and there was no bias there. Man, come on now. That team would have been nasty. They would have won 4 consecutive championships if they had bias to that team.
There's no way to tell that.
True.
Of course, there's no way to tell. It's only enough. But I'm saying, if you put the best player on the court in college basketball with the big three from the Celtics, that's all I gotta say.
Okay. All right. So that took up all our time.
Sometimes the best players in college don't always try to be the best players in pros, and then sometimes players in college turn out to be better than they were in the pros, better than they were in college.
Len Bias had a jump shot. He was the most athletic player on the floor.
So we took up the time to talk about the Rams, the Browns, and that we took all the time for that right there because we had an hour and 17 minutes.
Yeah, see, he just wanted to leave one team off. He wanted to leave one team off.
I didn't get a chance to talk about the Rams. I didn't get a chance to talk about the Rams. If you watch the Olympics right now, the United States got 5 gold, 8 silver, and 4 bronze, and it's they're very disappointing right now. The United States, as far as medals is concerned, they're not really playing up to the level they need to play. The hockey team, both hockey teams are playing really good, but the individual skating, which is I can't think of his name right now. The guy in the field every time he was out there on the ice. I don't know if there's a lot of pressure on him to perform, but there are a lot of people are not happy with the United States. But again, it is what it is. You just come back next 4 years and do better.
We've always been to better someone from the world, but anyway.
So we're gonna talk about what Curry loves is college basketball. And Curry, I gave North Carolina some love last week, and they turned around and poo-pooed the bed. And I said something about
that's all you remember.
And I said something about Miami, right? And that's what he played.
That's all you remember.
No, I'm just saying. But I did watch some basketball this weekend, some college basketball. And what I saw is there's a lot of talent out there right now in college basketball. And now I see, and I'm still doing my investigation on some players that are in the top 5, between 5 and 7 that wants to be drafted in the NBA right now, that are predicted to be drafted in the NBA. They're saying that this is one of the deepest drafts the NBA had in a long time, right? But what I'm watching in college basketball is I'm watching a lot of guys that are playing really good basketball. I'm like passing. They're playing basic basketball really good. If I didn't know no better, some of the guys I'm watching, I think they're from across the water because they're playing the game in a pure way. They're not doing a whole lot of extra stuff. They're doing with the stuff they need to do to win the games. Um, but I'm saying right now, like I saw Duke, I mean not Arizona. I saw Arizona on Saturday. They lost to Texas Tech, which was a good game, right? But it was is it Bradley's his name? I think he's probably one of the Jaden something. I think I can't think of his name right. He's like in the top 10 as far as being drafted in the NBA. So those guys got something to play for. Um, just like in college football, they got something to play for to get to the next level. But I enjoy watching the game. I even watched the Irish play. Notre Dame played. Who did they play? Oh my goodness. It wasn't NC State. Who was it? I can't remember who they played over the weekend. And even though the team they played, the game was pretty much over the second half, they kept going at them. And that's why I like to see. And that's what I saw in the boys basketball games was nobody giving up. You know what I'm saying? And maybe because their 3-point shot is always there to make up for their difference. When it comes to playing basketball, because even if you're down by 12 and you hit a three, now you're down by 9 in a single digit. So mentally, in your mind, other than the NBA, and I'm gonna say this about college basketball too, because I think when you're down by double digits in college basketball, sometimes it's a mental thing of being down by double digits. 11 is 11 and 12 is 12. You know, if you're down by 20, then it's a whole different story. That's a hill you got to climb. But I enjoyed watching them play. I'm looking forward to the tournaments coming up, and I'm looking forward to the Sweet 63 or whatever they're gonna have. But I do have a question for you guys, right? And I think I brought this up to you once before. If a team goes undefeated in their conference, should they have to play for the conference championship? Mo's nodding yes. Tell me why, Mo. Why do you believe so?
Because they don't play every team in the conference.
Why don't they?
You talking about NBA?
No, college.
College? They don't play every team every ACC team doesn't play. Every team in ACC.
Why don't they play everybody?
Because they don't have enough games. They got 18 teams.
There's too many teams.
So how many teams are in ACC?
18.
So you telling me they can't play 18 games?
36 games would be in the conference.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. So but I'm still getting to my whole point is right here. If you go undefeated, right? And I think we had that situation last year where somebody was undefeated or had one loss and lost in the conference championship, because if you got one loss, you're still going to probably be a number one seed, right? Because if you end up in the top 5, right? Unless you get blown out in the conference, you probably gonna get number one seed, because they're gonna look at it like, okay, your season, you won your season. The conference championship is just an added bonus to whatever the case may be. But I'm just saying though, I just think that if you prove to the NCAA that you're undefeated, then I don't know why you should have to play in a tournament. I think the tournament should be for second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or whatever, for how many teams get in. But I'm just saying, I just think. Go ahead, Curry.
I disagree with that.
Go ahead, Curry. Go ahead.
What you're saying is, okay, so if you win your division, your conference, you're gonna be one of the teams that get two byes, is what I'm trying to say. You're gonna skip the first 2 rounds. So what you're saying is they should just skip all the rounds and go straight to the championship game?
No, what I'm saying, they shouldn't even have to play for it. Because
you're just gonna give it to them?
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh, no,
I'm gonna tell you why I believe this, right? Because at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, let me see where am I at here? NC men standings. So if I go to rankings, All righty. So if I go to rankings, right? Why did I got men's? I went women's.
So what you're saying is that if they win their conference, they shouldn't even have to play for the championship. So when they get to the NCAA tournament, we're just gonna make them an automatic #1 seed.
So okay, so let me ask you a question. Michigan, Houston, Duke, Arizona, and UConn are the top 5 teams, right? So let's look at, okay, so we got a Big Ten. What's Houston in? Where's Houston in? They're in the what? The Big 12? Is there a Big 12?
I'll look it up. I don't know.
I think Duke and Arizona.
Might have done away with the Big 12.
Duke and Arizona, I mean, Houston and Arizona might be in the same conference. Okay. You got Duke in the Big 10. You got UConn in the Big. I mean, you got
in the ACC.
Duke's in the ACC. UConn's in the Big 10.
Iowa's in the
Big 12.
Houston's in the Big 12.
Okay. What is Arizona in the Big 12?
Yes, Arizona's in the Big 12.
Yes, Arizona's in the Big 12.
Iowa State's in what?
Big 12.
Big 12.
You got Purdue's in the Big 10. Kansas in what? The Big 12.
Kansas in the Big 12.
Kansas in the Big 12.
You got Nebraska in the Big 10. You got Illinois in the Big 10. Now, I'm gonna say this. Because of the way it's set up, the Big 10 would have to have a tournament because though you got 4 or 5 teams in the top 10, in my personal opinion. I mean, that's here right now. Right? But if you got a team like Iowa State's in the what's Iowa State's in? The Big 12?
Yep.
Okay. So basically you got the Big 12, the ACC. Well, you only got one team in ACC that's in the top 10. So I'm just saying Duke's 23-2. If they lose in the tournament, are they gonna not be a #1 seed?
Duke? No.
Possibly not.
No.
So you're saying yes, they're not going to be a #1 seed, or no, they're not going to be a #1 seed?
No, they're not going to be a #1
No,
seed
they're not gonna be a
because
#1
there's a
seed
lot of
because
great teams this year.
They could be a #1 seed, but I don't know. But until you play the tournament, where they might see.
So let me see. Let me go to see. Look, let me see where we at. ACC. Okay, so in the ACC right now, you got Duke. Duke's at 3. Virginia's at 4. Virginia's 14th. North Carolina's 16th, and Louisville's 21. Clemson, Miami, the Wolfpack all have a better record than North Carolina and Louisville, right? So, now I would say this: if Virginia wins the tournament, if Virginia would win the tournament, I can see them being #1 seed. Duke being #1 seed, right? But I can't see nobody else being #1 seed. And maybe in North Carolina, because they only got 5. North Carolina got 5 losses, right? So my theory wouldn't work for the ACC because I think North Carolina could be a #1 seed too as well. But I'm just saying, if a team's undefeated and we're saying that they don't play every team, I think that should be an incentive for them to that should be an incentive to them if they go undefeated. Like the game I was watching the other day, they left their starters in at the end of the game because of a point differential, right? So I'm like, when do point differential become an issue in college basketball? It's a win or loss. But now I'm saying, no, it's a difference in how you beat certain teams. So it helps your power ranking when it comes to the NCAA tournament. So the only thing I think the tournament is only to me, the tournament is you get a sleeper, right? Let's lose ACC, for example. You got what 20, how many teams in there? 19, 18 teams? So let's just say that you have Florida State that goes on a run and wins the ACC tournament. We know they're not going to get the #1 seed, but they're going to get a bid, right? even if they didn't, let's say they didn't play Duke or any teams is ranked. Let's say they didn't play one of those teams. Let's say they played Clemson in the ACC tournament. Clemson's gonna get a bid in, right? California Golden Bears is in the ACC. Man, that's a lot of traveling that them guys got to do. Good God Almighty.
SMU, Stanford.
Stanford too. Wow. Wow, that's a lot of traveling.
Academics, baby. Academics.
I didn't realize that. And don't say academics because North Carolina was shady there for a while ago.
I'm talking about Stanford.
Cal.
And Cal. Brought into
academic school.
SMU.
But you see what I'm saying though, because I mean you think about it. Long as Carolina, Louisville, Virginia, and Duke don't lose. Well, Duke and Virginia they're going to get an automatic bid. But long as the other two teams don't lose early in the tournament, which I don't think they will. But the record states themselves that states that they should be in the tournament. And this is where it comes in with the bubble situation of teams that should be in that's not getting in, that should be in. And now you got the little window where okay, you get the buy, you get a buy in, but you play 2 games to get the buy. I mean, you get to play the number 1 seed or number 2 seed and let luck fall where it falls. But again, like just watching this, I'm telling you, watching college basketball made me really look at it. And the reason why I did it because it goes back to the NBA and the tanking that they're doing right now. It's incredible. You getting teams that's getting fined for tanking. The Utah Jazz, they start the starters and sit them down in the 4th quarter. The Indiana Pacers are getting fined. So this is the part that really bothers me the most. The Spurs tanked to get Tim Duncan and whoever else they got, but it wasn't as bad as it is right now. Or they never really paid attention to it. Now, they did get fined, but it goes back to this Philadelphia 76ers. They tanked for 10 years and still didn't get it right. And I'll never remember them getting fined at all. But here you gonna find the Pacers.
They couldn't get fined.
They couldn't get fined.
They just drafted players that were hurt. They don't take it. They had hurt players.
But Curry, but that was the reason why I started watching college basketball, because I'm like, I got a list of guys over here that I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch the video of them, how good they play, why they play. Like the kid that got hurt. Caleb, what's his last name? Williams? Not Williams, but for North Carolina, what's his name that fractured his hand?
Wilson.
What is it again?
Wilson.
Okay.
Taylor Wilson.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back and watch him play. But then there's a guy that plays for Kansas, Darian Peterson. They said this guy he's compared to James Harden and Devin Booker. So I want to go watch and see them guys play, because I'm like, yo, really? Because again, they're saying this is probably one of the deepest drafts they're going to have coming out of college this year, right? So teams are tanking to get these players, but at the end of the day, you look at the NBA, right? And to be honestly blunt with you, right? Washington Wizards, they got all these players now that's hurt. They'll probably come back healthy. They should be good. The Pacers, once they get Tyrese Halliburton back, they're gonna be good. Brooklyn is Brooklyn. Milwaukee's trying to convince Giannis not to leave, which I don't think he's gonna leave, because if they're in the top 10 and they get the lottery pick, we already know how I feel about the lottery, how it's fixed, and I came out and said how we supposed to fix it, and then they turn around. Then the NBA say the same thing that we've been talking about on the show for the last 2.5 years. They keep taking my ideas and not giving me I'm getting no profit from it. Give me some credit or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you do. Just give me. I heard it on Kate Dixon's show. Just us. This is what they should do. Don't leave me out here standing by myself in the cold. You know, just give me some credit. That's what I'm asking for. But again,
right.
Looking at it in Curry, what I also noticed though is that in the draft right now in the top 10, there's no European players. They're all American, which is probably the first time in a long time we've seen that happen. So these guys are out here balling for real. And I love it because they have a purpose of playing. And I don't see no bad basketball being played. And that's the part that was one of the things I didn't like about college basketball, because sometimes you watch it and it's just terrible. But right now you got guys out here balling. I mean, balling to get to the next level. And even if it's not to get to the next level, to get that NIL deal to maybe go somewhere else and play. So I'm enjoying it right now. It's March Madness is on its way here. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna see how this thing turns out for whoever gets to the Final Four. This should be really interesting to see how this college thing turns out. But again, I'm like, it's just like the number 1 seed, it keeps bouncing around. Like Michigan's number 1 now. And just a week ago, it was Arizona, then it was Connecticut, then it was somebody else, and it was Duke. You know what I'm saying? So that just goes to show you that nobody's scared of nobody in college basketball. At any given day, you can lose, and you need to stay focused. Like watching the Arizona game on Saturday. Was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday, I think it was. The coach was DJing skeet. With the DJ, he was doing everything, you know, and they talked to him about basketball and about the team he got, and they went out there and got smashed by Texas Tech. Well, not smashed, but they lost to Texas Tech. So sometimes I think you take the focus off of basketball, but you still keep it on basketball, because you wouldn't see Dean Smith doing no scratching on no records. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't see Shevetsky doing they're like, yo, I ain't got time doing interviews. I'm all about basketball. I mean, it's a different time, it's a different frame, a different how things work differently than it is now. But what they did worked. You know what I'm saying? You always knew that North Carolina and Duke will probably be in the Final Four, or make a deep run. You knew that because they was always coached well. Not saying they're not coached well now, but there's so many other distractions, even with the coaches, even with the players, that you just had to keep that. You got to keep your head in swivel, and you got to be able to produce what you need to produce. But again, that shows you how good college basketball is. We saw what it did. We saw what the playoffs did for football, how good it was, except for the first round. Teams, Tulane got smashed and whatever the case may be. But again, like I said, Curry, the reason why I watch because they're saying how deep this NBA draft is going to be. So I'm kind of encouraged for these young men to come in the NBA and make a new face for themselves. Curry, any comments on that at all?
Where do you think the majority of those players that you watch in the NBA, where do you think they came from?
Well, you know what the weird part about it is, when they did the they did the All-Star thing. They a lot of guys came from there's a lot of guys that was from Duke. No, what I was looking at. No, when they doing what was they doing? Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying that the guys you watching, the majority of them guys came from college basketball.
Yeah.
So except the ones that came from overseas.
But what I'm saying though, I think when they doing the 3-point contest, whatever, a lot of them guys were ACC players. I think that's what I was trying to get across. I mean, the ACC still got good basketball.
I can believe that. I didn't watch no parts of the All-Star or nothing. I don't have no interest for that. And then slam dunk contest used to be exciting, and then they started putting all these props in there and jumping over cars and everything else, and that was done it for me. It used to be a time when a slam dunk contest was nice. You see guys like Spud Webb winning up contests, man. That was exciting. But now all these props don't get it for me.
Wait a minute.
You know what? I just thought of this. NBA, not basketball anymore.
Did he just give credit to an NC State player?
He
said that they're using props.
No, he gave credit to Spud Webb, who played at NC State.
Yeah, I love Spud Webb.
No, I'm saying he's a UNC fan. He know we play tomorrow.
But the thing
no, I'm just saying it was exciting when Spud Webb won that slam dunk contest.
No, I'm talking about a UNC person. I'd never give credit.
He didn't do it.
I'd never give credit to James Worthy.
James
I'd never give credit to Sam Perkins. I can't hate on Jordan. I can't hate on Jordan. Jordan just don't. Dean Smith held Jordan down. I can't stand Kenny Smith.
Best starting five.
Yeah. Yeah, I got mine. I got mine right here, but we short on time, man. We got like 15 minutes left, so we can do that. We can do it next week because we went off a tangent about Len Bias.
Hey, we could have a whole
and everything.
show on Len Bias.
But the thing about so Curry, one thing I loved about the dunk contest when they had Nate Robinson in there and Spud Webb. These are guys are my size and they're dunking. I'm loving that because their dunks is all about timing. You know what I'm saying? Throwing the ball off the backboard, doing a 360 in the air and dunking. Now you got guys that are 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", and they just don't really have it. It don't do anything for me. Dominic and Sean Kemp and them guys did it. They did it for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you, I'm be honest with you. I think I'm gonna tell you what ruined the All-Star game when it comes to dunks is LeBron James. I don't care what nobody say. When LeBron James didn't go into the dunk contest because he thought he was gonna lose, other players like, well, if he ain't entering, I'm not going to enter it. You know what I'm saying? Now you got guys that don't want to be in the dunk contest because my man McGlone or whatever it is, he come up with some dunks that nobody else know how to do. You know, like when he had some nice dunks this weekend. You know what I'm saying? The dunk contest was overall, I gave the NBA a C+ because they're trying to improve. The USA against the world is not what I wanted to be because you had two guys. You had Giannis was out of the game, which I think would make a big difference. Guys like that, you know what I'm saying? Sean, Alexander Gildress was not in the game, which made a difference. You know what I'm saying? But what I did love is Wemby went out there and it's like, yo, man, I ain't letting you do nothing. I'm not letting you do nothing. I'm coming out here, I'm taking hearts. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they're missing. They're missing that guy out there that's like, yo, I'm gonna play regardless of what you say. You can go ahead and half do whatever you want to do, but I'm gonna play defense. I'm gonna play with the way I know how to play. But it's weird that it comes from a player from a European side of the house that has that mentality to want to play that way. When you got guys that's in the NBA from here don't want to play, they just want to shoot the ball, you know. And so I was listening to Stephen A. Smith today on my way back from Baltimore. from DC, and it was asking about how do you think you can fix the All-Star, the NBA All-Star, which I said I give it a C+, right? But I'm gonna say this: I think if you want to add some tricks to it, tell them they can only shoot so many threes per quarter, and then that way you got guys going to the basket, throwing back behind, throwing a Magic Johnson pass because I ain't see none of that yesterday. I ain't see none of that. I saw guys shooting threes. You know what I'm saying? That's all they just were bombing threes. But if you say, okay, you can only shoot 7 threes in a quarter. Now you got to think about, oh man, if I miss this 3, we only got 6 left. You know what I'm saying? But it makes some guys want to go into the paint and do a behind the back pass or throw the ball off the backboard or just throw the ball off the ground and have them grab it in the air and dunk it. It adds a little pizzazz to it because now you still got to play some type of defense. I mean, they played defense, not the defense that we thought they could play.
But you're slowing that game down, way down now.
Well, no, but I'm just saying though, if you're trying to if you're trying to change it in a sense, you got to add something to it to take something away because only thing we saw last night was them shooting threes. You know what I'm saying? That's all we saw.
Yeah, that's practice for them guys. That's what they doing out there. And they just practicing. They ain't nothing to win.
But when we were growing up, you had Magic doing behind the back passes through his legs. Bounce pass across the half court and the guy catches it, Dominic catches it and do a 360 dunk. You know, that made it exciting. It's not that exciting now. And this is the thing. So Silverman, he goes to Bob Cousy and says, "Yo, how can we change the way we play the All-Star game?" Bob Cousy is so old. He can't. What can he tell you? He can't tell you. He can't tell you. He can't tell you how to change the game. He may be able to suggest something, but the thing about it is, Silverman, you the GM. I mean, you're the guy that's making all decisions, right? So you make a decision on how the game's supposed to be played. You make a decision on how the game's supposed to be played. Find a committee to make a decision. Like, for example, bring Horse back into the equation. Now, the 3-point shot, Mo, did you watch them guys shooting the threes with the old guys?
No, I didn't watch anything.
Oh,
so I was moving, man.
So I watched that. Yeah. So they had Allen Houston with the Knicks, and it was a fun thing. The 3-point contest was nice too. But again, you got a guy in the G League that have won the dunk contest 4 years in a row, and you telling me nobody in the NBA can outdunk this guy. But again, like you said, when Spud Webb and them guys are doing it, and I don't even know if there's anybody in the NBA right now that's 5'7", 5'8". I don't even think there's not one person in the NBA that's that height now. But again, you take that's when Spud Webb dunked in it, and he beat out Dominic Wilkins that 1 year. And then you had D Brown put his hands over his face, and then you had Spud Webb do that 360, and Nate Robinson do. These guys ain't supposed to be able to dunk, so that makes it even better. So I mean, they need to fix it any way they can, because they're still not. It's better than what it's been, but if you're asking me, if you're going to ask me, my opinion, I'm gonna say, okay, well, limit them from how many 3-point shots they can take. That means they got a dribble drive to the basket, and the defender comes in. Now you throw it up, he gets an alley-oop dunk, or he passes out to somebody else, and they make a layup or whatever the case may be. But you're making the game a little bit more exciting. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, I didn't even watch the rest of the game last night because when I came back from the from the comedy show, I had one eye open, one eye closed, and I didn't see the whole thing. So, but the little bit I did see, I was okay with it, but it could have been better. You know what I'm saying? And again, he made the comment about how do you take away tanking? And my suggestion, which somebody put in the chat room, that you take the Emory Cup nonsense that you do at the beginning of the year and have that tournament at the end of the year. And you have teams play to get the number 1 draft pick. Now, people say, well, how can you do that? I was like, well, if you got a guy on a new contract, on the contract, and he's healthy enough to play, then he plays in that game. If they win, they get the number 1 seed, right? But I'm gonna say this: like you take for example Milwaukee. Now Giannis is hurt; he ain't been playing, right? So we say to them, you have to play at least 50 games to be eligible to play in that tournament. 50 games, at least 50 games, right? You cannot sit your starters in the fourth quarter if you're winning or losing. You gotta play to win the game. It's simple as that. And then you can judge from there, because right now they're fining teams for not playing. They're fining Utah Jazz $1,000 or something like that, $5,000, and now they're talking about taking away draft picks because you're tanking. But Spurs did it for so long, and the Sixers did it for so long, and I really don't believe that's the bottom line. So I think the issue is, for real, is a load management situation. You got players that don't even care about making first team NBA, second team NBA, offense or defense. Kawhi Leonard can't win nothing. You know what I'm saying? Luka can't win nothing. You know what I'm saying? So Lakers, what the Lakers got to play for now? What do they play? What are they playing for? Because they're not gonna make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And if they do, they're gonna be out and about. They're gonna be out when it's all said and done with. So what are you playing for? So there's got to be some incentive in order for them guys to play. So the NBA is killing itself, but they're allowing Silverman allowed the players to make decisions about a lot of stuff, and now it's coming back to bite them. Like in the NFL, when they should have went for that money, with more money, instead of listening to everybody else and signing off the contract. Go ahead, Rich. You got something to say?
I do. I think that what you said is a cop out. Like these dudes are making millions of dollars a season. Some are making almost $1 million a game. And there's no reason why they should be sitting. Like because you're getting paid all of this money to play basketball. If you're not injured, then you're on the court.
I agree with that. That's why I said I agree with that. I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you heard the part where I said they at least got to play at least 50 games. I'm saying you got to play 65 games to be able to get an award, right? Anything under 65, you can't be a first team nothing. So that means that if you have in your contract that you got to make, if you got in your contract where you can make an extra $1 million, if you're a first team, second team, or third team offense or defense, then you got to play that many games, right? But the players that are sitting out now, they don't really care because they're already making money. So my thing is, if you're gonna take your team, you got to at least play 50 games and you be in that tournament at the end of the year to win the game, right? And you can't what Utah is doing is they're playing their starting team into the fourth quarter and then they're letting the bench play. You can't you can't do that.
Well, this is my thing. This is my thing. I guess. So there wouldn't be any sitting out. Because if I'm Adam Silver, I'm not giving you very much leeway.
Exactly.
On these games that you can sit. These rest games. You know what I mean? Now you're gonna have to go out there and perform on the court. And if you report of injury and we find out that it's not a real one, well, now you're getting fines and losing draft picks.
Exactly.
Like from the first time. Because people were paying too much money to go see these games.
Exactly.
And dudes ain't showing up.
And that was my next point. There was a guy that went to go see. What game was it that the Lakers played? Was against the Spurs, right? I think it was. And Luka, LeBron, Smart, and somebody else was out of the game. And then he bragged about Wemby getting 40 points or something. I don't know. It just didn't make no sense. But there's a fan that said, "Yo, I come to watch this team play. I spend all this money on these tickets, and these guys not playing." As fans, you get sick and tired of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's just think about how much money you spend if you have to go somewhere. If they're not coming to the city that you're in, that you gotta go and watch them play, and they don't play. Like I don't know if I told you a story about the time I took my nephew up to Boston, and they played the Washington Wizards, and it was reported that Tatum wasn't gonna play. That's his favorite player. The disappointment on my nephew's face was it was priceless. I'm like, we came this far, and even though it's a home game, but we came this far, and he's not going to get a chance to watch him play. It's like it's at the end of the season, so they wasn't going to play Washington in Washington. You know what I'm saying? Not like that, but he ended up playing the game. But again, you think about the money that people pay to fly or drive, hotel, food. You know, by the end of the game, going up to the game, you probably just spent about $5,000 if you're taking a family, hotel, gas, food, a whole 9 yards.
Man, I'm sorry, but when Tatum took off for his birthday last year,
I was mad.
I'm like, man, you can celebrate your birthday
anytime you want.
Some people got to wait until the weekend.
You gonna
take a day. It was his birthday.
Or was his birthday?
I think his son's birthday was on an off day. His birthday was on a day. And he took the game off. For his birthday.
But see that's why I'm a Jaylen Brown fan, because he's a dog. He wouldn't do nothing like that. I love Tatum, but the thing about it is, now I'm gonna say this: if it was a home game, okay, fine. But if it was a away game,
it was a home game.
Yeah, if it's a home game, I don't mind it that much, because like what's the opportunity?
You play basketball for 3 hours.
Well, let me ask you a question. Would you be more upset? Well, I know. You live in DC, right? So would you be more upset for him not to play in DC, or if you were to go to Boston and he not playing Boston?
I'm gonna be disappointed either way.
See, me personally, I'm gonna be disappointed that he don't play in Washington, because that's only a couple hours away. Where if I go to Boston and he don't play, I'm like, man, I came all this. I'm gonna be upset both ways. But that's the way they think. Is like you can rest at home, but you gotta play on the road.
They don't think about it. They don't care.
Yeah, they do.
They don't care.
It's all analytics. It's not the players who care. It's the teams who sit there.
It's the teams who sit there.
But the thing about it is, though, when enough fans stop going to games because them guys are not playing, then it's gonna become. Then that's when it becomes an issue.
Exactly.
That's when it becomes an issue. And that's not fair to the fans. It's not fair at all for them not to be able to watch watch their favorite player play. You know what I'm saying? And it's not right, man. It's just not right. And the NBA need to fix it. No. They definitely need to fix this situation, because again, I've always said, cut the season down to 62 games. That means you play less games, but you play more meaningful games. You know what I'm saying? But the owners are so money hungry, they ain't gonna do that. But the fans are the ones that are paying the players their salary every game they play.
No, man. It's the contracts.
It's the contracts.
No, it's not.
No,
because
they make a lot of money from ESPN. They make more money from the contracts than they do from the gates. That's why they don't care about the gates.
That's why they don't care about the gates.
They probably do, but at the end of the day, it's about the fans. It's about the experience of the fans.
It's not anymore.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not anymore.
So, because you look now,
especially to the players.
So you
the last man on the bench
making $1 million now.
But look at Miami, right? You go to a game in Miami, and you don't see nobody sitting behind that bench to the middle of the second quarter, because they got something else to do down there.
Same thing in LA.
Yeah, same thing in LA. But if you go to Minnesota or you go to the cold weather place, they're going to be right there, because that's what they want. That's what they love.
That's the thing about it. Miami and LA, they're usually rich already.
And yeah, and
they don't care.
But
they don't care.
But you go to San Antonio, it's packed. You know what I'm saying? So
those are hard-working areas where the team actually caters to their fans, and that's why San Antonio, their players don't sit home games; they sit on the bench. They don't even go. I mean, on the road, they don't even fly with the team.
Yeah,
Pop started that.
Yeah, which is retarded, because I know Kenny Robb was supposed to. He was going to go to a San Antonio Spurs game, and he said, Kev, he said they left Ginobili, Parker, and Duncan at the tarmac.
Yep.
Like, I said, you talking about the tarmac in Philly? He said, no, the tarmac in San Antonio. He said, man, they're not even on the road trip. I'm like, yo, that's bad. That's not good. That's not good at all, man. Not at all. That's just, as a fan, you got, as an organization, they got to do better. You know what I'm saying? And that's why basketball would never be better than football or better than soccer. And if you think about it, the fans are closer in basketball than any other sport. They're right next. I mean, if you look at the bench, right? So you got the coaches, then you got fans sitting next to the bench, right? And I'm like, yo, why? How? What in the world? I mean, that would be a great experience to sit right there and just watch what goes on and listen and stuff like that. But again, football don't do that. Soccer don't do that. Baseball don't do that.
DK proved you wrong.
Well, he did it. DK, he did it. He need to stay off the weed. But I'm just saying though, and basketball is the only sport that you really get an opportunity to rub elbows against a player at a game. Everywhere else, they're far way apart from you. So the NBA, so the commissioner need to do better. He cannot bring in any more teams because that's the league's watered down as it is right now. Football and basketball don't need no more teams. Baseball maybe, but not football and basketball. Football, you can't even have a good backup quarterback. How you gonna get a starting quarterback on a team or expansion team? So I'm just saying, I think that all that needs to be, they just need to go back and look at that stuff, man. All right, guys, it's 9 o'clock. I appreciate you hanging out with me again today. Let me go through Curry. Any last words, man, on college basketball? What do you think North Carolina? Do you think North Carolina can make it to the Final Four?
Oh man, that is a lot of materials. I'd have to say no.
Okay. Anything else you got for us?
I'm good.
Okay. Mo, NC State, can they make it to the tournament?
They beat North Carolina tomorrow. Anything is open.
Anything is open.
Anything is possible? What time?
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Is it on ESPN?
I think ESPN or ESPN2.
No, I might. Oh man, I got a game to go to tomorrow. Oh my goodness.
I'll be watching. I'll be texting.
Rich, who's your college basketball team, man? We don't even know, man. You don't know what I'm talking
North Carolina.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So Rich is, Mo's giving the thumbs down on that.
Whatever.
I'm just giving the Mets thumbs down, baby.
Let me ask you a question, Rich. Mm-hmm. Who's the best point guard that ever came out of North Carolina that you saw?
That I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Probably what's his name? What is his name?
Who he played for in the pros? Who did he play for in the pros?
He wasn't really good in the pros. He was solid.
They don't have many good point guards.
Raymond Felton, maybe.
That's the guy I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to Curry real quick. Curry, who's the best point guard you ever see play for Tar Heels?
Yeah, that's who I was gonna pick. Raymond Felton. That's the guy.
What do y'all think about Phil Ford? He's not in there. Do you think he could be in that category?
Phil Ford was good. He would have been before these guys' time, though. They wouldn't remember Phil Ford. Phil Ford was good.
Okay.
But I don't think these guys would remember Phil Ford.
Okay. Lou, what you got for us, Lou?
Well, my college team was Seton Hall, but they're not doing. But they're mediocre at best. I think they're going to sell for the other tournament, the NIT tournament, unless they win all the remaining games in the conference.
Okay. Last but not least, I got an announcement to make.
You still a Penn State fan?
No, actually, I'm throwing all my Penn State stuff away. I'm throwing all of it away. If I become Penn State, I gotta buy it again. But I'm not ready for that. Hey guys, I'm gonna put you on notice. Sunday, March the 1st, 76ers versus the Boston Celtics, 8 p.m. Jason Tatum will make his return to the Boston Garden game. That game was at 6 o'clock. It came a prime time game at 8. If you got Peacock, you'll watch it. If you don't got Peacock, you might have to listen to it on the radio or something like that. I'm just saying.
If you don't,
I'm telling you right now, I think he's coming back in that time period. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for in the group chat. Whoever, Marine, Crayons, whoever it was, inbox me. Let me know who you are. If I got your size, I will definitely send it to you. And I think maybe we might do a trivia thing again next week. That's pretty cool with Mo did. I think I might come up with a trivia person next week. So with that being said, man, you guys stay warm, be safe, man, and have a good rest of the week.
Take a look. It's in a book.
It's in
A reading rainbow.
A reading rainbow.
I can go anywhere.
The second for one. Now they got the man trapped in third. It's hanging out. And 2nd and 2, handoff goes to McCaffrey up the middle, finds a little room, lot more room, and he's off to the races.
Welcome to the In the Zone Sports Talk Radio Network. You're listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show with your host, Kate Diggs from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with the large heart, and co-host Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida. Also co-hosting Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland. These are your hosts, bringing you the ultimate in sports news for the ultimate sports fan. Be sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Now sit back and prepare to get into another episode of the Just Us Sports Talk Show.